Africa was plunged into level 4 load shedding on Wednesday afternoon. Scom, battling with more units going offline, coupled with the cold weather and increased demand for heating, warned on Tuesday already that this was likely. So here we are. So is it going to be an ongoing game of whack-a-mole for the power utility for years as they battle failing and ailing infrastructure? I'm joined now by energy expert Chris Yelland. Hello, Chris. Thanks so much for your time. Looking back at years of load shedding, is 2020 the worst yet?
Well, it's the worst so far, but not the worst yet to come. And I think we need to start looking at this much more closely. A message I want to say loud and clear tonight. If you think that maintenance is the solution to the problem, you're wrong. Maintenance is very, very necessary, but the best that can be hoped is that the maintenance will stabilize the energy availability factor at the currently very low levels. What we need is new generation capacity and fast. 6,000 megawatts, not 2,000 megawatts of emergency generation. We need 6,000 megawatts in the next 2 to 3 years if we are to avoid problems. The answer to your question simply is we can expect much more load shedding going forward unless we take courageous and bold policy initiatives to bring on new generation capacity fast and to decarbonize the current old, poorly performing coal-fired power stations and replace them with reliable, low-cost wind, solar PV, battery storage and gas to power. That is the only solution going forward, and the policymakers need to get this message loud and clear. It's time to stop pussyfooting about this matter. I hope the Minister of Energy is watching this. I hope the Minister of Public Enterprise is watching this, and I hope they get the message.
Yeah, well, this is what I was going to ask you: is there anything that Eskom could be doing that they're not currently doing, or is it actually out of Eskom's hands? Is it about unblocking the channels so that we upscale and get more units online, as you say, in wind, solar, and battery power?
Eskom's hands are very much tied. They're not allowed to go out and employ the right kind of people now. They find it very difficult to access capital, both on capital markets as well as from the Treasury. Procurement is slow and time-consuming, and that just deals with the operational issues. The new capacity issues, the ones that I'm talking about, are not in the hands of Eskom. They require policy initiatives, legislation to be changed, and this is not in Eskom's hands at all. So Eskom should continue doing what it has to do, maintenance, but to think that that maintenance is the solution to our problem is just dreaming. And truly we've got to get on with the new procurement, and this is not, in my view, going to come from Eskom.
So we've heard about the IRP, I think it's the Integrated Resource Plan. Isn't that all in that plan, the things that you're talking about?
Yeah, centralized command and control planning, as we know it in South Africa, is somewhat dysfunctional. Certainly extremely bureaucratic and time-consuming. It's not market-focused or customer-focused. It took 8 years to prepare the Integrated Resource Plan for electricity from the very outdated previous IRP in 2010. We need to move away from the central command and control approach to procurement to a much more nimble and market-focused area where we can harness and unlock the energy of the private sector, working also with government. Government has its own initiatives, and that's good, but government on its own cannot provide the solutions. If I just may mention, the CSIR have recently come out with a report, and it's absolutely clear what we have to do. There's no illusion, and this is where the Minister and the Minister of Public Enterprise and Energy have just got to get the message. The initial next 6 months to 18 months can only be met by self-generation from businesses, industry, mines, factories, buildings, farms by providing own generation in the form of solar PV plus battery storage. That can be delivered in 6 to 18 months.
So really what you're talking about is transforming and blowing open the whole system, removing all the impediments, all the red tape, and putting all the energy on incentivizing the private sector and even private households and neighborhoods setting up mini-grids. That's the sort of thing you're talking about?
Exactly. That is step number 1, and that can be done in the next 6 to 18 months. Step number 2 it comes from emergency procurement. Now, there has been this procurement request for proposals, and I can assure you, the only kind of technologies that can deliver power economically, environmentally soundly, and quickly are wind plus solar PV plus battery storage in the next 2 years. It's as simple as that. And people have got to get that message through somehow. The minister's got to understand these things. Step number 3, of course, is the Renewable Energy IPP program, which is a longer-term initiative. There we're looking at 2.5 years to 3 years plus. It's going to come from wind plus PV plus gas to power plus battery energy storage. People who think that new coal or new nuclear can provide solutions in under 10 years are dreaming. And we have to understand these things, and we have to act on them now.
Well, that's quite a strong wake-up call. Thank you very much. That's energy expert Chris Yelland on our power supply problems.